Good morning.
It's Toyotathon. We are back.
Happy Toyota Day. Yep.
All right, Paul. So I need you to settle a marriage dispute in my
Oh
household.
no.
Yeah,
I've dreaded this day. All
yes,
right.
as you should. So I'm going to lay out the scenario here. We are at Kroger's, as we do every Sunday morning in our household. We go shopping. I go, the whole family goes, whatever. We're shopping,
Okay.
and we are making beer can chicken for dinner,
Yep.
and we don't have any beer because I don't drink a lot of beer. If I'm drinking, I'm usually just
Yeah.
glasses, whatever. So I go to the beer aisle, and I'm perusing the local beverages. And there's a new beer. I had not seen it before because it's another day of the week. Another brewery has
Oh, yeah,
popped
of
up
course.
locally.
Yep.
And I see an IPA. And Mary Jo's been talking about coming to Cincinnati for a while because there's a lot of breweries here for whatever reason. So I take a picture of it. And my wife just casually goes, "What would you do if your phone just broke?" That's foreshadowing what's going to happen. So I come home and I go to unlock my phone, and my phone will not unlock. It is solid black, and there's a little like white circle spinning just in the middle of this.
If I could interrupt real quick, I'm a little saddened that this dispute isn't about the beer can chicken. I really thought that's where this was going.
Yeah, you can even go online and see the tweet that I sent to Mary Jo, and then I went to unlock my phone again after that, and it would not unlock, and it was like stuck. Like I could not get this thing to turn on. It was getting hot, and I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
So the dispute in the household is that my wife broke my phone. She
I see.
she put a curse on it because she said, "What would happen if your phone broke?" And then within like 30 minutes, my phone broke. And so all weekend I've been like telling my wife like she cursed my phone, and like my kid was like hell bent on like my wife has powers, like she can do this.
She's a witch.
And she is. I eventually went to the Apple Store, which if there ever needs to be a Bill Burr skit, there needs to be a Bill Burr skit of him going to the Apple Store to get customer service because it is just atrocious. And so long story short, what was wrong with my phone was that the Face ID unlock sensor was stuck on. And there was something wrong with the sensor, and they were able to clear the code and get it sorted out and fixed my phone. But I had to reinstall everything. They had to reformat or whatever it's called, refresh it. But the dispute is, did my wife break my phone? And I am
Yes.
the king. Yeah, she did. She
Yeah,
did.
she did.
She cursed
In
it.
fact, under the laws of Salem, I think, unfortunately,
I'll go get
like,
the
I don't
piles.
make the laws. I just
There we go. See, I was right. So,
Yep.
anyways, that's
no,
that.
women have they have powers that we cannot understand.
They do. She
for
cursed
sure.
it.
I also I had my little Apple store running many years ago. This was still in Dedham, but I had an appointment to get something fixed, whatever it was. Or actually, maybe it might have been an appointment to buy something. It doesn't really matter, but the point is, I had an appointment, and so I showed up, 5 or 10 minutes before the that time, and waited, and finally I said, "Excuse me, what's going on?" I had an appointment for whatever the time was, and that time has passed. And they said, "Oh, you came in at the witching hour. It's really busy right now." And I said, "Well, then don't make appointments that you can't keep." I said, "My time is valuable. I don't have all day to hang out in your store. I want to get something fixed and go, or whatever." It's just typical, just Apple. Sorry, as I cover my mouth, just typical Apple. Everyone's so happy to be here. It's like Disneyland. Just browse around all the colored cases. Will be fun.
The colored cases. Which, ironically, I did do. I didn't buy anything, though. I was like, hey, maybe no.
Yeah.
The other good news, not so much related to cursing of iPhones, is that one piece of furniture is going to arrive I think on Wednesday in my basement, so I can stop gaming on a folding metal chair.
It's funny. You should have done that so efficiently.
I know. It's, so that's good news. That is good news. Other good news, weird things. The Walking Cat, as he usually does, found this new feature called Spaces coming to. It looks like it's going to be more of like a corporate subscription, or at least an Office 365 subscription feature, because you can't log in, at least yet, with a .com or Outlook.com account.
Yeah. Maybe they're bringing back MSN Spaces. Remember that? The blog platform. Yeah.
Yeah. For those who aren't familiar, Hedy did a write-up earlier, but what it allows you to do is like organize. Oops, wrong button. organize like data, like your emails, content, and thing in a space. And so it's easier to kind of keep your life organized. I wonder if this is part of like the Microsoft 365 for life thing or whatever that we've been kind of hearing about.
This to me has the ring of something like an idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I would be surprised if it was kind of far along and well thought out at this point. But I mean, I guess we'll see. So
yeah,
it's interesting. Maybe this is how do we attract people who are younger who don't like to use email to use this product that is fundamentally email based or whatever. I don't know.
It's trying to organize. It almost feels sort of like a Pinterest kind of, because it allows you to organize your data from several different sources on one.
So it's like collections in Edge.
Wow. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Except maybe
Joe
more
is
useful.
going to the office team. I mean, maybe this is the first.
That's the first thing he does. He kicks through the doors like, you're going to build
Guys,
this.
I have an idea. Yeah. He's like, what's that guy's name? The guy who did Groove. The guy from Lotus who became Microsoft's chief science officer, whatever his name was. He kept recreating the same thing over and over again, which was Groove, basically. So maybe Joe could be like that. And God help me, why can't I think of this guy's name?
I can't think of it.
I can picture his face, and I can't think of his name. That's killing me. You know how, like, when you have a song in your head, you can't think of another song?
Mm-hmm.
I have Nathan Myhrvold's name in my head, and I can't think of Ray Ozzie. It's Ray Ozzie.
Oh, Ray Ozzie. Gotcha.
God, I can't stand that kind of thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, who was? Oh God, who was the? I think he was a St. Louis Cardinals player with the name Ozzie.
Oh yeah, it might be Ozzie Smith.
Ozzie Smith is who I was thinking. I was said Ozzie Smith. I was like, no, that doesn't sound right.
I think it's Ozzie Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyways, because he played in the same era, I think it's Barry Larkin.
I don't know who Barry Larkin is.
Barry Larkin was a shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that explains why. Okay.
Yeah. And the Reds have had a good history. Just kidding.
Oh, actually,
they got a really long history. They're one of the.
Yeah, I mean, and Pete Rose.
Yeah.
I think
So not to get off topic, but I am waiting for somebody to write, and maybe the editorial's out there, but if you're not familiar with what's going on with the Astros, I suggest everybody go look.
Yeah.
Like the punishment handed to Pete Rose versus the punishment handed to the Astros.
It's horrific.
It's like, really?
I the one thing I'll say about the Astros, which is something I'd say about the Patriots, right? Because a lot of people, they cheat, I really don't feel like the Astros are doing things that other teams weren't doing. All teams try to gain an upper hand whatever way they can. I think there were many examples of that kind of thing, but they did win the championship. They went to the finals or the World Series,
and they won
3 times and lost. I think they won once and lost twice or something. I can't remember the exact, but yeah, they won. And although, I guess they were accused of, and I guess, I can't stand the Yankees, but the Yankees are like, we lost to these guys twice while they were known to have been cheating. Like, we could have gone to the World Series twice.
Yeah.
So
all I'm saying is Pete Rose should probably be in the
Pete Rose bet on his own team. You should celebrate that.
I know.
I don't. Whatever you think about gambling, I couldn't care less. I don't gamble. I'm not advocating gambling, but I'm sorry. He bet on his own team. By the way, another famous sports player who has an incredible gambling problem, Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
So what yeah, what has happened to him is an embarrassment, not to him, but to the league. It is disgusting. That guy he is a hero. He is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. That makes me sick to my stomach. Pete Rose.
Oh, Pete! I thought you were talking about Jordan. I was like, Jordan.
No, Michael Jordan was a terrible baseball player.
I was going to say he technically played baseball, but
was one of the greatest athletes of all time. I'm sorry, I was talking about Pete Rose.
Which supposedly, not that I can experience this, he's terrible to golf with. Although I've heard he's not.
Well, of course, he probably cheats. He's like, he's terrible.
Well, like because of his gambling problem is so people will get randomly paired up with him, and the guy has like multi-millions of dollars and like
$10,000 if you sink the next putt. And the guy's
like he's just betting on everything, and like to the normal person who's just out there wanting to golf. Granted, it's probably at a country club, but still, like play a couple $100 a hole. Like that's for the average person is not obtainable. Anyways,
Pete Rose, my God, the thing I'm really worried about with him is that he's going to die before this gets fixed.
Yeah.
And that cannot stand. Like,
he's just walking around his house just with like in an Astros jersey, going like, "Come on."
Well, he wrote something about it. He was like, seriously, like
Yeah,
you're not even gonna, you're not punishing these people. Well, I mean, they did technically punish them, but I mean,
slap on
I,
the wrist for these guys though.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Anyways, if you have Windows, if you have a Samsung phone and you use RCS messaging, that is now potentially possible with your phone, depending on your setup and your carrier
Yeah,
and everything
I saw
else.
that and I got excited and I was thinking, oh, maybe that will obviously that work with Google's phones.
It probably will eventually,
Eventually, yeah, for sure.
eventually, but Samsung appears to be on the leading
That's
edge
like
of.
saying Surface will probably adopt Thunderbolt 3 eventually, but doesn't help me today.
Yeah. The other interesting thing I was thinking about over the weekend too is the integration potentially between Windows 10X and your phone on a foldable like the Neo could be
Yeah,
because on one
yeah,
panel you could very easily run a full screen Android app, and it would probably be just fine.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Because I was thinking like, well, maybe they should bring the Google Play Store because there's been rumors
Yeah.
and they have the technology, blah blah blah, to Windows 10X. But then it's like, well, why not just make it your
So
phone?
I don't know anything about whether that's going to happen, but the one
Mhm.
thing I do know, and this is a fact, is that the team that did that originally, that Android Bridge, whatever it was
Mhm.
called, was disbanded, and those people were all either left Microsoft or went to other parts of the company. So if they were going to do something like that now, they'd have to kind of restart it from
Yeah.
scratch or whatever. I and I've not heard that they are or not, but
Yeah.
I back then, same as today, I would say the addition of Android apps to Windows could only help. I think one of the things that the failure of the store and UWP have demonstrated is that for Windows to remain true to itself, it needs to run all kinds of apps, and it needs to run all the apps. That's one
Mhm.
of the things that's wonderful about Windows. And if Windows could run Android apps, it doesn't take away from anything. There's no, it doesn't hurt anything that's
Yeah.
important anymore. So why on earth would you not allow it?
Yeah. We will see. We will see what
Yeah.
happens here. And yeah, I don't know. It's technically a holiday here in the U.S., so there's not going to be a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm still rocking this cold that I'm really happy about. But
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm gonna try to go to the gym this morning. We'll see how that goes. It's probably gonna be another lackluster effort, but what do you do? I did go to IKEA yesterday,
Hmm.
and so those things that are behind me that you can see are going to be replaced with white things instead of whatever those are, beige things, I guess. It's going to be a little more colorful though. There's some cool bin things with colors, and so it's gonna be nice. I think you're going to
You
like it.
should
But
live stream you building the
Bill, yeah,
furniture.
watch the Andes monkey try to use his opposable thumb to construct an IKEA furniture. No, I'm gonna try to build those today, but it will be more difficult for me to do this than you did what you did in your cellar. So
Slightly. I mean, just a few things. I don't know. So, all right. You got anything else for today?
no. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna write up. I have a tracking protection thing. I'm gonna write up. Well, I've actually written up that I think I'll post before I go to the gym, and then also I did my UWP thing. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I haven't read it yet, but I think
Don't
that's.
bother reading it. It's terrible. But the UWP is horrible. It really is horrible. But because of this dual screen stuff, I was like, I want to think about an app. It made sense to make a native app for it. I
Hmm.
mean, so I was looking at UWP and I was like, well, why don't I get started with something I already know, which is like this Notepad app. I'm like, I wonder if you could do this in UWP. And as it turns out you can, but man, there are a lot of roadblocks because of this mobile platform. It does some weird things with controls where imagine you're using Notepad and
Hmm.
you're typing in there and whatever, and then you go to select the menu and all the text disappears while you're selecting the menu. Or because you're running in dark mode, that text box just turns black.
Hmm.
And it's like, what? And then you select it again and the text all reappears and it's white again. And that's how mobile apps are apparently, or something. Like it's a weird, so whatever. Like I don't mind that behavior is what it is, but what the problem with this part of UWP is that figuring out how to override that, it's not discoverable. I don't know how you would do it. I Googled it for hours. I finally asked Raphael. He thought he was like, yeah, I think I know how to fix this. And we worked on it together for an hour
Hmm.
or so. And he finally figured it out. It's astonishing what you have to do to make it work. So Yeah, I mean, I think in 48 hours I hit on the problem. Like
Yeah.
Microsoft had trouble bringing Office to UWP. Shocker.
Mm.
Like, even bringing Notepad to UWP is difficult. It is possible, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting though, like a native resolution DPI independent app. It's that stuff is interesting. Like I may keep working on it. It's kind of interesting.
Well, good. I'm happy that you're sort of happy. And everybody else, we'll be back here same time, same people. Not a Toyota Sunday though, so get your deals today. Not sponsored by Toyota.
I wish it was.